Hey, okay, well, I'm just gonna be talking about Star Trek Picard a little bit. The first episode just came out. I watched it today. I'm probably forgetting a few things about it already, though. But I'm gonna give you my first impressions. So it's pretty good. As a hardcore Star Trek fan, I've seen the entire series at least two times to completion, and of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Um, and I've seen some episodes like three, four, five times. Um, so I'm pretty familiar with that. Um, and so I was pretty excited about this series. I didn't exactly like everything about the new series, Star Trek Discovery. Um, I also didn't really like certain aspects of, like, for instance, Star Trek Enterprise. Although I did like certain things about Star Trek Enterprise, I probably liked Star Trek Enterprise more than most people. At least that one was trying to be very Star Trek like. I feel like with Discovery, it's something different a little bit. Like, it's not quite. I don't know. I didn't get very far in Discovery. I didn't, you know. So I haven't seen all of that, so I don't know. I don't want to judge that. Um, it might have gotten better over time, but changing certain things about the Klingons and stuff. I'm not sure if they're explaining that or what, but it seems like they're changing certain things about what has happened. And that's a little troublesome. I feel it's kind of cooler to try to figure out creative ways to get everything to line up canon wise, rather than, even if things were strange in the original series times and a little bit backwards, uh, you know, politically and socially, like compared to our time today now in real life, But still, anyway, Star Trek Picard, it's pretty good. It's all right. It's There's a lot of interesting callbacks. There's some things that I was guessing that I was actually really surprised turned out to be the case. I don't want to spoil anything, so just I kind of had some ideas about um, who that young actress that well, young actress that young character that comes to Picard is, uh, and those my theories turned out to be kind of true, so I was happy about that. We get to see, already in the first episode, we get to see Data and, like, all sorts of just cool stuff from the past. And it's interesting. The story seems to be good, so far. It's really, the best moments are all with Patrick Stewart himself. He does the most amazing acting out of everyone. I do feel there's some moments that are odd with the young actress character. She seems There's scenes where I can't tell if it's like wonky writing or just kind of strange acting, but it seems to be maybe a little bit of both. Where I'm just kind of, but I mean that happens sometimes in Star Trek, you know. Um, and it's good despite having some not so great acting or not so great writing sometimes as far as dialogue. I'd say my problems are with some of the dialogue or some of the acting. Sometimes you can't tell which one's the problem, but there's some moments where I'm like, that's an awkward acting moment. Not with just the young woman character, but also the um, there's a scientist character that I feel like she had some awkward acting moments too. So yeah, it's just there's some, but I'm thinking that's maybe just getting used to the characters, kind of getting used to maybe that can sometimes happen, especially in a first episode or a first season, where I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm sensing, but I did sense some less than desirable acting from during some moments. Best scene in the movie, and best scene in the episode, like, was definitely in the early parts of the episode, um, where Picard is sitting down for an interview with the media, and that's definitely worth seeing. And I think like that was a moment where I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. So it delivers more than it doesn't deliver, I'd say so far. It's optimistic. I'm very optimistic about this, because it's basically just a continuation of Star Trek: The Next Generation, in disguise. It's like we're just continuing the story of the TNG universe, which I love. So yeah, that's my quick impressions of this series so far. I don't really want to go into too many plot details in this right now, because my memory is a little bit fuzzy anyway, as far as I'm kind of still absorbing it all. But yeah, I guess I can now. I mean, that was the spoiler free part of the review, and now I guess I can like talk about everything. There's some great nostalgia stuff where, although I don't know if I will end up going into it, but now I'm going to see if I can just talk about everything without caring about spoilers. So there's some great nostalgia stuff right at the beginning. For instance, you see the Enterprise, the Enterprise from the original, from Star Trek: The Next Generation TV series, and he's Captain Picard's on it, and he's on it playing cards with Data, and it's obviously a dream sequence. It's pretty obvious it's a dream sequence, like almost right away, because there's just kind of weird, like you would expect, like it's not a flashback, like it's obvious that there are just things that don't line up, like the uniforms are wrong and that sort of stuff, like so. Like, because they're on the ship from the original series, but the uniforms they have on are from after that ship was destroyed. So there's just things that don't line up, and so like it's pretty obvious. It was obvious, at least to me, a hardcore Star Trek fan, that it was a flashback like right away, just because of the stuff that wasn't lining up, or that it was a dream sequence line a lot right away. So that seems to be their way of kind of getting Data into the show, is Captain Picard's just seeing him in dreams. And there's other connections to... I still am hesitant to spoil anything. I don't know why. I think it's because I feel pretty good about the plot, and I just want people to experience it. Because yeah, I'm still beating around stuff, but basically there is a connection to Data beyond the dreams in this show, which is awesome. So I feel that's pretty good. I'll just say it now. Like, I mean, the character that is the young actress that comes to the young woman that comes to Captain Picard for help is somehow, it seems at this point, somehow Data's daughter, which is awesome. Like, somehow Data's daughter was created again from some remnant of Data, some piece of Data that still existed. So yeah, and that was a surprise. But she's like human. She's flesh and blood, she's not an android, but she is. She's like completely human, but she's also got like the mind of an android, the mind and soul of an android or something. That's what it seems like at this point. And yeah, so that was kind of cool. And the funny thing is, she looks a lot like Data's first daughter, which That's one of the things I was predicting, like looking at the trailers, and I didn't see anyone talking about it. I wasn't really looking that hard, but I did not see anyone talking about it. Um, but I did sense that she looked a lot like Data's daughter. And there's one episode where Data becomes a father. He makes an android, and the android's imperfect, and it's tragic because the android's imperfect, she ends up having to die before the end of the episode. I'm not sure if she commits suicide or there's just some sort of fault in her programming that makes it that her lifespan is going to end, prematurely. But yeah, she develops quickly, matures, and then dies like really quickly. And Data learns in that episode that he is not as understanding of android technology as his creator. Like he can't do it as well as his creator, and that's like a real sadness to him because he can't create. He can't have a child. He did it once, and then she died because he was an imperfect creator. So that was interesting. That was a very good episode from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and when I saw the trailers for Star Trek Picard, I was thinking, yeah, that could be a tie-in because she does look, the actress they got looks like Data's daughter a little bit. So it turns out that she is Data's daughter, but now a fully human version of Data's daughter. And yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if that's why she looks the way she looks, if they wanted to pick someone that actually looked like that Data's daughter, but she does sort of, and it turns out that she kind of is Data's daughter, which is awesome. And that's at least what it seems like right now. I don't know if that's going to end up being the case, but a lot of questions there's more questions than answers right now, of course. But yeah, the dramatic stuff really works. The Patrick Stewart is bringing it, like absolutely. And the writing is good enough. At least when Patrick Stewart is talking, it seems like the writing is amazing. When some other actors are talking, it's maybe a little corny feeling sometimes. It's a little off sometimes. There's one particular scene where someone's talking about lightning in a metaphorical way, and it comes off as very corny. And I was like, oh, that's not exactly great dialogue writing. But all in all, it's very good and it's very promising, and it's way more promising than a Star Trek show has been in a long time. So I think I'm just going to call it there. I could go into more details about the plot, but it just seems like, oh, well, it also has to do with the Borg. It definitely has to do with the Borg right away. I don't really want to go into that right now, I guess. So I guess this is more of a just quick review than a detailed explanation of what happened during the episode. But I just highly recommend it if you are a Star Trek fan, especially if you are a TNG fan, because yeah, this basically is just a continuation of TNG disguised as something else. I mean, it's not really disguised. It's obviously about Captain Picard, but it's not just about Captain Picard, and it seems to be just about everything, in that universe, and they're handling it like a continuation straight from where we left off, which was that Nemesis movie, the last Star Trek Next Generation movie. So yeah, I'm definitely digging it. I'm excited. It's like it's back. It's like Star Trek is back, finally. We were going to the past with Enterprise, which was fine. Enterprise was okay. But then we were, what was after Enterprise? Then Discovery, I guess. Enterprise was like way back in like 2005 or something. What the fuck was that? Was a long time ago. And then just recently Discovery, which was cool. I guess that Star Trek was coming back, but it wasn't exactly what a fan like me wanted. And now we're getting the actual continuation of the story back into the TNG universe, which is the best version of the Star Trek universe. All right, cool. Later.